Welcome to Global Education webinar powered by Global Finance Board.
So I'm Thomas, the GFB chair. So before I become a GFB chair, I was MCB Finance of IC in Hong Kong. And last year I was also in GFB as a member. And then before that, I was LCP Finance and Finance member. So my profile of finance background, hope that will ease your trust in me. Yeah, so I basically know all of the finance stuff. First of all, why are you here? Okay, so that is the reasons why you're here is good. Learning about pricing is a very important task, but often ignored by financial, because if you're not even if you're MCVPF, people just think that pricing is not my stuff. It should be determined by my MCP, or even this thing is AI. But no, everyone should have a brief understanding about their pricing. Why are they there? Why is it at that level? And you should know whether you should change it or not. Yeah. So basically, it's why you're here. And then second, why we need to care about pricing. Before that, just talk about what will happen if you charge too much or too low. Okay. So imagine your MCPF, even if we're not yet. Yeah. Imagine your entity an ICAP in something like ICAP in the Paradise, say, and then you are charging 5 euros for your OGV, and then you can imagine what will happen. Yeah, so it happening is your operation cost definitely is bigger than 5 euros per exchange, and so you have a loss. Basically you're like a charity, just giving out money, but that will not sustain, so it harms your sustainability. So that will be the problem of charging too less. Yeah, actually it should offer some products at a very reasonable price, but not that cheap. Yeah, it should cover your cost. And okay, the one slide is broken for you. Okay, let me see. Okay, so continue, and yeah, I'll just talk about everything I put there. And what will happen if you charge too much? Charging too much may, if you are charging say 1,000 euros for a OGV, then you know how many people will actually pay for that. Yeah, so that is not very good, because you lose some potential customer, and actually it's not accessible to everyone everywhere. If you cannot pay for 1,000 euros, you are not accessible to GEW. Yeah, and lose some profits. If you study economics, you know the demand supply curve, and you know there's one point in the middle that will maximize your profit. Yeah. If you're charging too high, you'll lose some potential profit. You're charging too low, you lose some potential profit as well. So we're charging it at a medium point. We call it the optimal point or equilibrium point, and then you will have the maximum profit. So if you're charging too high, you thought, oh, we are having much more revenue, but that is not true. So you actually lose profit. So, and then it actually harms sustainability. Yeah, so that is the way why you should not charge too high or too low. Yeah. So, and then back to why we need to care about pricing. Is that because of the impact that we talked about last slide, so we need to care about pricing. So actually, correct pricing will increase your profitability. Sure, you will earn more money, and then you increase sustainability, which is a very important finance standard, but it's the most difficult one to achieve. The others, you just do it or not do it, but sustainability, you need to build it. So it's a bit hard to do it, but starting pricing is a good starting point. And then increase your customer, yes. If you place it in the correct pricing point, then you will get the most of the potential customers. So that will fulfill the accessible to everyone everywhere goal. And then because you have more profits, you also have more revenue for investment. So if you are if you think about your entities, how it grow, double growth or triple growth, then you need money to do some more things, and placing the product in the correct pricing will enable you to do that. Question is, how do we do it? How do we do pricing change? How do we know what is correct pricing? And now I'm introducing you to something that is related to a GFB. So it's called a pricing tool. If you're at MCVP, you've probably seen it, but for LCP may not. So I'm going to tell you about this thing. So why is there a pricing tool? So pricing tool is basically Excel, and you know that sustainability is one of the finance standards, and it's very important, but it's very hard to achieve. So we want the entity to place the product at the correct or the optimal level of pricing, so that they're not charging too less or too high, and then first harm their sustainability. But then, if you don't have GFB to assist you or AI to ask everyone about their pricing, and then to see if my pricing is okay or it's too high or it's too low, then I have much work to do. And as an ISACer, even as a full-time MCPF, I don't have that time or that capacity to do it. So so GFB is here to help. Then we collect every information from the entities and put it on this pricing evaluation tool. And then you can compare the price with the others and to see whether my price is okay or too high or too less. So it's the way to do it. So you can access to everyone's pricing without asking everyone that we want to achieve. And then the next questions you want to ask may be, okay, so where to find it? Yeah. So the pricing tool is released every quarter together with the GEW report. If you don't know what is a GEW report, basically, it's that now every entity, MC, I'm talking about, need to submit a survey to GFB every quarter, and they report like finance data, finance standards, and so. And after a month, then the GFB will release the GFB report, and together with that, we will release a pricing tool to every MC and also AI, so that they can use it for their pricing evaluation. So it's an Excel file and sent through Google Drive. And for convenience here, you can find at this link. So now please download it, because we will use it sometimes later for some activities and exercise. So just take 30 seconds to download it. And if you download it, just say, yes, I downloaded it, and we will post it. Good. Okay, so I suggest you to open that again, meanwhile listening to me, because you can have a brief idea how to navigate through this tool. Yeah. Okay. So we can go exploring this one. So yeah. So before going into that, we also talk about how the pricing tool come up and how do the information come up. So the tool is created based on input from entities. GFB didn't collect it actively. We collect the data from the entities who reported that. So the pricing information should be updated by MQB Finance if they have changed So if you have changed price, please tell us, because we don't know actually. If you change price but not telling us, then we don't know you have changed the price. Yep, so we have no information unless you reported that. And so the accuracy of pricing tool actually depends on the accuracy of the data input. So to make the pricing tool more accurate, please report the accurate data from yourself, and please report the most updated data. Like every time you change your price, please tell us and update your pricing information, and then we will know it, and then we will update the pricing tool so everyone in the world knows. Yep, so that is how we create the tool. It's actually by survey, and we collected that and then put it in an Excel form. Yep. Okay, so now please open your Excel file. Yep. Let me put my Excel file on also. Okay, so this one is the Q2 report, because Q3 report is not yet out yet. It will be probably out next week or next 2 weeks. So now we can do some practice using the Q2 tool. Yes, so on first page you can see it's just a welcoming page, and you can see our last GEW chair to talk you through some of the aspects that this tool actually covers. Yeah, but basically just for your information. But the only thing that you need to care of is the entity that you need to choose. Yeah, because you need to choose it so that the data in the other tabs are the correct one. So now it's default in Afghanistan. So please change it to your entity, either Czech or Romania. Yeah, you can change it. So I'll change it to mine. So mine is Hong Kong, and we can use mine as an example. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then after you have chosen your entity, then it's now the main thing. The main dish is about the pricing information. So for second tab is the entity information. Yeah, so the first part is, so the whole tab is actually about your entity. There's nothing else about others' entities. So it's all the information either you reported or we collected from external sources. Yeah, so I'll brief you through why we need to collect some information from external sources. But if you see it in your Excel, I know the PowerPoint is a bit blurry in the photo, so you could refer to the Excel. So the first part is actually some basic information, general information about your entity. So your entity name and the code in the first row, and then you see some region and sub-region of Isaac. Yeah, and then down there you see some old Isaac OD cluster that's not used already, but then just for reference. And then you can see some contact person. Because it's Q2, so it's now still in the last term contact person. Yep. And then you see what you are running. If you're running all products, then you say oh yes. If you're not running all products, like my entity, I don't run IGV, so I put no there. Yes, and after that you will see your pricing in local currency, and also converted in euro. The conversion rate is updated every quarter, so it may not be the most updated conversion rate if either euro or your own currency appreciate or depreciate much during the time. But yeah, if that remains stable, then it should be more or less the same. Yes, so yeah. And then the right hand side, you see some subjective entity opinion that is not inputted by GFB, that is inputted by the entities. So your MCVP finance, when they first reported this information, they think that they are okay, or they are too high, or they are too less. Then they just put their entity opinion there. Yes, and then you also see some external information that is not in ISAC. Something like UN region, UN sub-region, income group, GDP PPP, HDI group, like customer price index, and and PPP conversion factor, that kind of things. It's used for calculations. So basically, it's some external economic indexes that you will need. For example, the income group is that we place you against the countries that have similar income level. Yeah, so if, like, I'm from Hong Kong, so I'm in the higher income group, so I'm placed against some developed country and against some high income group, because it's not reasonable to compare like Hong Kong with say Ghana, because our income is very different. So then we need to group you into some similar entities. Yep, and GDP PPP also is about how much your country is earning, like for your country. Yeah, and HDI, it means how developed the country is. Yeah, so again, it's not reasonable to compare US or some Northern European countries with like Ghana or some Middle African countries. They're very different. Yes, and then consumer price and PPP conversion factors that is used to calculate the recommended pricing, because they need to be adjusted. If you study economics, you know some nominal value, even you're given the conversion rate correctly, is not the true value that you have, because we have very different pricing, like price level in goods. So, for example, like if you go to McDonald's, maybe in euro, it spend you 8 euros for a McDonald's, but in my home at Hong Kong, I spend 4 euros, so it's like half. So if you convert the price only by the conversion rate, then it will be super high for Hong Kong people. Your pricing level is not that high actually. So you need to have an adjustment using the PPP. So basically, it adjusted your price using the price level, statistically calculated by the pricing level of actual goods in your countries. Yeah, so you see how it affects the calculations later. Yeah. Okay, Pavuna is typing. Okay. So I'll just continue. Before moving on that, okay, go to you can go down actually, the same page. Actually, you will see some like details breakdown about that. You will see the amount of entities using the same price level or using the same pricing schedule. Yeah. So so that is just for reference. If you have any interest in that, you can read that, but that is not very informative about your price level. Just for reference to see whether you are in the mainstream or you are like having some very distinct price schedule. Okay, good. And then we have some tab here. It's the actual tab that you need to look into. So please, everyone in your Excel, go to the first tab. and we'll go for, row by row to explain what you are looking for and what you're looking at. Okay, everyone there? Okay, if yes, then we can go. Okay, so the first part is OGS and IGE. So on top, make sure the entities, selected entities is the one that you want to see. Please, if you have chosen, say, Romania in the first page, then you should see Romania here in the cell C4. Yeah, please remember to check that you are in correct way, correct entities. Yep. And then, okay. And then we can go to IGE, OGE, OGT, OGV, the first part. So EUR not adjusted, it means only your price using the exchange rate of euro and your own currency to adjust it to that. So, and then the adjusted PPP, as I explained, it is adjusted using your price level. So this EUR adjusted is adjusted back to the euro pricing level. So actually, if you are coming from a place have lower pricing level, then it should be higher than you not adjusted. Yeah. So you can also see the mine is Hong Kong dollars, and you can on the right hand side you can see your own currency in that column. Make sure that it is correct. If it's not correct, then you can report to GFB. Okay, and then right hand side is subjective entity opinion. Yep, that is reported by your MCB finance. So that is only very subjective, not opinion by GFB. So it's personal opinion from your MCB finance or the one that first reported that information. Okay, on the right hand side is about it's a very interesting graph. So what we are seeing here is actually we are placing the average level of the pricing of that product using the group that is stated in the graph cell. For example, the first column is the average in GDP PPP per capita group. So if you remember in last step, then we have shown you some grouping in the GDP PPP group, right? So now those entities or those countries who are in the same group are grouped together, and this level is actually the numbers are the average of those countries charging how much for IG, OG, OGT, and OGV. Yes, and it's the same for other columns. So you can see like we have put it in HDI group, UN regional UN group, and also global average. Yeah, and you can see it's very different for global average and the average in GDP PPP per capita group, because you know global there has many different reality there. Maybe you are US having like 50,000 US dollars GDP per capita every year, or you are some developing countries who are having share like 4,000 or 5,000 US dollars per year. So you see the global average is just for a reference. Please don't use it. Yeah. So, and then you see there's some color grading in the next two rows, in the row 13. Yeah. So those, if you read the captions, are the weightings of importance of this adjusted value to calculate your optimal price. So if you can digest, if you can read that captions, you know the pricing of the recommended pricing below is actually calculated using this average. So you need to put the weightings of importance there. Like the GFP have a default settings of 30% GDP, 60% HDI group, and 10% UN average. That is a suggested ratings, but you can adjust it yourself to see whether it makes sense or not. So you can adjust, oh, I want to have more ratings on the GDP PPP per capita, and you can change it. Now you can change it to see what happens. Yeah, if you are putting 50% in the GDP PPP and then putting HDI maybe slightly lower, then you will observe that your best price, like in the next table, actually changes. I can show you mine. Wait. Okay. Share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay, so just to try it out. Okay, so here you see the best price and this one. So the best price now is 376. So if I change this, so it's actually decreased. Yep. So you see the weightings here are actually related to the calculations of the best price. So yep, if you want to try out like what will happen if you compare to different regions or compare with different indexes, then you can try it yourself. Yep. So and then let me come back to this one. Share documents. Okay. Yep. So and then the next part, the second table, you will see the you will see there's some highlighted and not highlighted cell. So you see the best price in not highlighted cell is actually calculated using the Europe price level. So say if you got IG adjusted that not highlighted level, it should be higher if you are coming from a less expensive country, and it will be lower if you're coming from a more expensive country. Yeah, and you can compare that one with your adjusted PPP on the in the last table. Yeah, but then for your reference, like for your easy understanding, then we should compare the one highlighted, like the next one, by reverse adjusting in your PPP. What that means is that this price, this IG adjusted price that is not highlighted, is adjusted using your home country's pricing level. So, and then you can compare to your current price. This highlighted best price, you can just convert it using an exchange rate to your own currency, and then you will see the pricing level, the recommended pricing level in your own currency. You do not need to do any other PPP adjustment on that. You do not need to do any pricing level adjustment on that. So you can use this one to directly calculate the price that you should charge. Yep. And on the right hand side, the percentage is the percentage of your price calculated compared to the best price calculated. Yep. And then the right hand side, the statement actually is to help you whether you should increase or decrease the price. So if you see your price is in the green percentage, then you should decrease the price. In the red percentage, you should raise the price. Yep. So, but anyway, if you have a remarks here, you will see the remarks in the document. This is just a recommended price, not mandatory to follow it 100%, and not recommended to follow it blindly 100%, because it's just an average. We don't have access to like any other real life situation in your countries, in your entities. So if you want to do some price adjustment, price change, then this is only a reference. You need to have other additional information or proof to support your decisions to change the price. Yep. So yeah, so that's a disclaimer, and that is only a reference only. Don't follow it blindly. Yep. And yeah, and the last table in this page is just like the groups that you are GFB is categorized you in. Is the external group should not be wrong. Yeah, you can check if you are placed. I think my entity should be in high level, high income. Then you can check UN whether the UN group is placing you in high level or medium level. Yep. And the right hand side is just some graph to help you understand that. Yeah, it's display the same data as the table. Yep. Okay. Now we finished the first step. Any questions from you? If no, then we can continue. Okay. For IGT, it's the same one, but for IGT, you need to take care is the options. We have 4 different pricing schedule options here. So you can see there's option 1, 2, 3, 4, which means you're charging in different way, one time per monthly free, or monthly fee, or actually several installments. So you know, IGT, there's many pricing schedule out there, like adopted by the entities. So we need to put it in different price level, or else you cannot compare. Yes. And then we also have an average among all options, but I'll explain you what that means later. And on the right hand side, in the middle, it is the same as the last step. It's the weighting of the average of the group. Yep. So it's the same operations that if you want to change your weightings, you can change it and see what happens. Yep. Okay. So and then is the most like troublesome part to compare. It's the assessment of a best price for one IGT with specific options. So we have 2 options here. One is the options to choose. The second one is the all options. And the thing is, you only need to care about the option you choose, which is the first one. Because the second one, they are having a different pricing schedule with your entities. So actually, they have no meanings in direct comparison. Yeah. So you need to see the first one. Operations is same as last step. So you compare the one highlighted in pink. Yes, and then you see whether you are high, you're charging too high or charging too low. Yes. And then for the all pricing like options, it's actually for reference. It means that if I average all options, all pricing schedule and all options, what fee that I need to charge, but that is only a reference to see whether you, among all options, whether you're charging too high or too low. Yeah. So yeah, if you are really using this in comparison, in making a decision to change IGT price, use the first one, the options that you choose. Yep. Is everyone okay here? I think it's a bit confusing for others. Like I have received different questions about that. If no, then we can go for RGB. RGB is like remarks. RGB is just for your reference because there are too many pricing strategy out there. So you only need to compare your project with others, but use it carefully because it's just an average. You need to take in consideration whether your operations really support that. Maybe your recommended prices is actually too low for you. So yeah. So and actually we have recorded some of your processes writing on your opinion of the pricing. If you don't know, then you should read about their opinions. Yeah, and the operations here in comparison is the same. Use the highlighted cells to compare, but use it carefully in IGV. Okay, so we've gone through the whole pricing tool. And after reading the pricing tool, actually there's something that need to remind you what you need to do after reading the tool. First is the pricing review should be conducted every year. So yes, you need to not need to change your price, but review your price every year. It's stated in finance standards. And second, do not follow the recommended pricing blindly. So it's just a reference, just an average. Please do more studies. So the third one is you need to conduct some cost analysis and also customer acceptance to determine your pricing. Cost analysis is to prohibit you to charging too less. So you can analyze your cost, whether the price actually covers your cost, both direct and indirect. So you need to calculate the HR, the office pricing, that the office cost that you are now incurring, and put it into considerations. Customer acceptance is whether the customer you are serving actually willing to pay the price. Say if GFB recommend you to put a very high pricing, but then you think your customer will not accept it, then you should conduct some survey to ask whether they are willing to pay. If you don't do it and you change your price, then you know you are losing customers and you cannot revert that in just 2 months. You can revert it next year. So yeah, so that is some recommended actions before like having the decision to change the price. And also consult stakeholders, your LCPs, your MCPs, your LCP operations, your LCP finance. Read the studies, cost analysis, customer acceptance, and the pricing tool, and then finally change your price. Yes, remember it's not mandatory to change the price every year, but a review is mandatory. You can review it, and then the result means that, oh, you are pricing it correctly, then there's no action to change. And it's okay. Change only is like necessary and it is suggested. If no, then keep it the same. Yeah, some so complex understanding. Okay, so yeah, so now I think activities help you to digest it. So just go to the activities and it helps you to digest it. It's very simple questions, very simple. Yeah. So but you can get used to know how to use the price tool. So everyone go to the link I sent out in the chat box. So what you are seeing is some very basic questions that you can play around with the tool and just try to do it in 10 minutes. I think is quite useful because now you are really like operating using the pricing tool. So yes, so you can take 10 minutes to do it, and it's very simple, and you don't need to write too long. Yes, just a bit of the thought, your insight, just so that we know that, oh, actually you have learned something, or you actually know the thing that we talk about in this webinar. Okay, so if you have any questions, chat box, and for this 10 minutes, I'll just play some songs, and then you can take your time, and after 10 minutes, just some brief sharing among yourself, and then we'll officially end this webinar. Sound like home music. Okay. Take your time.
递进的情是情深远，你又不是个音乐，别说尽那些情节。我该变成什么样子才能灵魂演员？原来当爱放下放背后的这些那些，才是考验。